Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit True of My Chest and it's by user Important Audience 610. My husband doesn't know I'm divorcing him. This has been my plan for 6 years. This is by far the craziest thing I've done and I can't believe I suffered all these years staying with this man just so I can survive financially. The start of our marriage was wonderful. We had 2 babies. After the second pregnancy, he cheated on me with a very close family member. He gave me a lazy apology and on top of that, he complained about my body. He also told me I was built like a refrigerator. Mind you, I was 4 months postpartum at this time. I secretly saw a family lawyer. To sum it up for you, I would be screwed leaving him. We only had $25,000 and that being split up is basically nothing for me. No marital properties, no car, I didn't have a job, literally nothing. I was a stay-at-home mom. I applied for hundreds of jobs during the time and couldn't find employment anywhere, so leaving was a bad decision for me financially speaking, especially with 2 small babies. Also, alimony and child support wasn't going to be enough for me to live off of or survive with 2 babies, so I let him believe that I forgave him and I continued being his wife. The very first time he cheated on me, it was with my cousin. Then he cheated again. He had a one-night stand with a random girl he met on a night out. I got so mad, I cheated back on him out of anger. Of course, he never found out I cheated. At least I'm smart about it, unlike him. During the time in our marriage, I worked on getting my independence back. My husband paid for my trade school. It was a very expensive program, but he paid for everything. We moved and we bought a house with his income. He grew his money too during all this time, so he made far more now than what he did when I originally wanted to leave him. I started working recently. I have a career now. I'm so happy about that. I haven't filed for divorce yet. He has no idea of my plans. I'm excited. I finally get to leave him after 6, almost 7 years. Now I can walk away with at least $200,000. We also have marital assets now, like the house and the car he also paid off for me. Now I have my education and my own career. I've been working on my weight loss. I lost 66 pounds and he paid for my Tirzepatide anti-diabetic medication. I had a breast reduction and a breast lift. I look amazing. I don't doubt I'll probably get remarried eventually. Everything in my life is finally set and going the right way. Well, Opie, I'm not going to judge you because, well, it's a True Off My Chest post and you're not asking for judgment. But if it were, I still wouldn't judge you because, well, once he cheated, all bets were off and you just did whatever you could to look after yourself and your babies. You consulted with a divorce attorney because you did want to leave him, but if you did, it would have gone bad. So you made a decision. You waited it out for you and your children so the situation would be better. And now it is. You have a bright future ahead of you. Now you just need to serve him and get through the divorce proceedings. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section and now let's check out the community comments. Commercial Carrot 477 says, I'm in a similar boat. I can't leave. Child support and alimony will not be enough. I financially cannot leave. I've been applying to jobs over and over every day. I just try to do things to make me happy to pass the time. Good luck to you on your new endeavors. This gives me hope. And OP responds, it really does get better. I was so miserable at the beginning, but I had goals to keep me busy. Going back to school and getting my independence back was step 1. I had a plan and I know there was a way out eventually. Even if it's going to be almost a decade away, it was still worth the overall outcome. I really wish you the best of luck. Rue Kitten Me 5585 says, you know, at the beginning I was ready to start thinking, man, that's really something to stay with someone for so long just to milk more money and assets out of them. But then you mentioned how he cheated on you the first time with your cousin, showed no remorse whatsoever, body shamed you when you were going through the first few months of postpartum, cheated on you again. Honey, milk that man like a farmer would milk a cow. Milk him for all he's worth. You withstood the storm and now you are the storm. And OP responds, I was really about to back out of my plan one day when things were really hard, thinking if it was really going to be worth it. I'm glad I stayed. I don't regret it. It's not just the money that I gained from the divorce and the assets, but it's also my new career. If I divorced him sooner, I wouldn't have a good job or anything to fall back on. I wouldn't have had an education if I left him. I was able to go back to school debt-free and focus on my education and obtaining my certification. I'm in a way better position now than I would be if I divorced him 7 years ago. Grumpy Net Geek in Texas says, you sound exactly like my wife. Before her and I met, they didn't have the cheating you experienced, but she experienced incredible loneliness. About 10 years into their 20-year marriage, she began to squirrel away money from her allowance and plan for her future once their kids were grown and out on their own. Their major problem was his incomplete inability to find time for any of them. 0 weekends, 0 vacations, trips, family time. It had got to the point where she dreaded hearing the garage door. Well, after the kids were asleep, she found an incredible group of gals in our chat room on IRC that helped her make the incredibly difficult decision to leave. Please do what's best for you and do it safely. Best of luck to you. And Instructions Unclear says, I hope you have a beautiful and gentle life with your children after all this is over. Wishing you extra sunshine in the early mornings and good health for your family without him. I hope your husband gets what he deserves. He sounds truly horrible. Additional information from OP's comments. About me cheating on him, I'm not gonna tell him. It happened a long time ago. I don't see a reason to throw that in his face. I really don't care to do all that. Honestly, I did feel better when I cheated on him back. I felt love and wanted for once. I felt good in the moment and even after that moment. I don't have regrets. He said he was going to change and never did. He just started hiding everything from me and he was lying about his whereabouts. He liked random girls' Instagram pictures and DMing them flirty messages. He was Snapchatting random women. I only knew that he cheated on me twice because I checked his phone. He definitely cheated on me way more than I know of. I just stopped going through his phone like, what's the point? I already knew he was cheating. He also treated me really poorly, made me feel bad about my weight. Always called me fat and ugly. He told me that I needed to get a Brazilian butt lift to get rid of my mom pooch and fill my flat droopy ass. I can really go on, but I'll stop there. Additionally, I sacrificed my career to take care of my kids. I left my career to support my family. My husband was the only one that benefited from me staying at home. I couldn't even get employed again when I was trying to apply for jobs after the second baby because of my large work gap. Yes, he paid for my car and schooling and everything else because I was a stay-at-home mom with no income on my own. And about our kids, I really dislike it when people always recommend the mother to take the kids away from the father, especially without other context. I always see that being highly advised on Reddit. Like why? Out of pettiness? I don't want that. He's a good dad and I don't want to deprive my kids of their father. He's just a terrible husband, but at the end of the day, he was still a good father and did his fair share of the childcare. No need to revoke his parenting rights. I know it's bad out there in the modern dating world, but I can't imagine being in a worse position than with my husband. I'm terrified but excited for a new beginning. I'm still in my 20s, so it's not too late for me to find love again. Better now than 10, 20, 30 years from now. I got my pre-pregnancy body back. I just started a great new career. My mental health is in a much better place now. I worked on myself and for the first time in a long time, I feel great. I feel happy. Edit to add, laughing at the people mad at me for cheating back on him. What did you expect to happen? I stay loyal to my husband while he F's other girls? Lol, you guys think I'm going to just go without sex for almost a decade? The marriage was already over the first time he cheated on me. Hilarious what some people think here. So, the community is wishing OP the best in the future regarding her decision. So now, let's move on to the update to see how that went. A lot of people here wanted an update the last time I posted. I wanted to update you guys and tell you that I did tell him I'm divorcing him. You know what's the funny part? He was honestly shocked that this happened, as if he didn't do anything wrong. He told his parents on me because I'm really close with his parents and he thought they could persuade me to change my mind. His parents are sweet, however they turned on me quickly and told me off for leaving their son. They let me know that what he did was unacceptable, but what I'm doing is even worse by leaving him and a family behind. My husband cursed me off after the divorce news. He also called me a gold digger and went on a rant about how women only want money and blah blah blah. He also called me a floozy because I went out with my girls and boys who are close friends and we went to a bar and celebrated my divorce. Anyways, we are in the middle of a divorce now. It's a process. We both still live in the marital home until further notice as told by the attorney. We will both have 50-50 custody, most likely a rotating schedule. One of my kids is taking the divorce really hard, even though he knows what happened and is begging us to stay together and how he doesn't want us to get a divorce. Honestly, I did feel pretty bad after my son begged me not to divide up our family and to stay with their dad. Although he knows what his dad did, he's just not accepting the divorce. He doesn't want us to split up even though his father cheated on me and treated me like dirt throughout our marriage. But I know at the end of the day, I need to be selfish and put my needs above everyone else's for once in my life. My son does hate me though. He won't talk to me and spends most of his time with daddy. My other child is younger and doesn't fully understand what's going on and is just kind of brushing it off. My son just keeps saying he doesn't want divorced parents and he wants us to stay together and he doesn't want step-parents. My son is really taking it hard. He is also saying that he wants to spend most of his time with his father if I go through with the divorce, and I just told him that's not how it's going to work and we will both spend time with him, and he keeps saying it's not fair and he doesn't want to stay with me. Well, it'll be good for you for following through with the divorce and for not being persuaded to stay with that man. The only thing I would worry about is if he's feeding any kind of stupid ideas to your son and maybe that's why your son is reacting this way. Make sure that doesn't happen. You think he's a good dad, but he is a cheater, so lying to him comes really easily. Other than that, here's wishing you the best in the future, OP. Take care and thanks for sharing. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user Eska089. Am I the a-hole for refusing to cook after my boyfriend tried to critique my cooking with a literal PowerPoint presentation? So this happened a few days ago and I'm still trying to process it. For context, I, 28 female, have been with my boyfriend, 30 male, for about 2 years. We live together and I've always done most of the cooking because I genuinely enjoy it. And he claims he can't even boil water without setting off the smoke alarm. The other night, I made one of our favorite meals, and while we were eating, he got a weird smirk on his face. He then says, "You know, I've been taking notes." I laughed, thinking he was joking, but then he said, "No, really, I made a presentation." I still thought it was a joke until he got up, connected his laptop to the TV, and opened a PowerPoint titled, "Improving Our Home Dining Experience." I was in disbelief as he went slide by slide critiquing my dishes. Slide 1, too much garlic. Slide 2, pasta consistency. Slide 3, more salt, less sass. The kicker was slide 8, which was just a photo of Gordon Ramsay face palming with the caption, "What'd he think?" I was stunned. I told him if he had such detailed opinions, he should cook himself. He tried to backtrack, saying it was all in good fun and that he was just trying to help, but I wasn't laughing. I haven't cooked since, and now he's been living off of cereal and takeout. He's sulking, saying I'm overreacting and ruining his joke. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for refusing to cook after my boyfriend presented me with a PowerPoint critique of my cooking? No, OP, in my opinion, no, you are not the a-hole. Your boyfriend was the a-hole in the way he presented his critique. It was probably funny for him, but it wasn't funny to you, so it wasn't a joke. It was just bullying. So he's got two choices. He either acknowledges that his joke was in poor taste and apologizes to you, or he learns how to cook using his own critiques. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's check out the community comments. WebInformal9558 says, "Holy crap, what an a-hole. If he can make a PowerPoint about all his complaints about your cooking, he can learn how to follow a recipe like a big boy. Samijo311 says, absolutely not the a-hole. First, he is weaponizing incompetence. If he's such a great food critic that he can put together an entire presentation on the laptop and display it to the TV, pretty advanced skills there, buddy. Then clearly he understands enough to read a recipe and follow directions. He can cook hamburger helper. Eating cereal is a pretty basic display of him signaling that his pathetic situation is somehow your fault. Second, does he show any gratitude or appreciation for you doing all the cooking? I thank my husband every single meal. He loves to cook. Sometimes I say, could use more salt or whatever, but only when he asks, because I cherish my relationship and I'm not looking a gift cooking horse in the mouth, lol. It's okay to say, hey, this meal is great. I probably prefer more salt, but thank you so much for making it. But a whole ass presentation is so wildly passive aggressive. If he's going to continue to pout, you should sit him down and offer to teach him to cook. Otherwise, he needs to keep it cute or keep it mute when it comes to his opinions about your food unless asked. Ashamed Director 428 says, yeah, no, my ex was the same. He'd absolutely decimated about something. Could be anything. Cooking, eating, what I wore, my makeup, literally anything. Then, when I got upset or fought back, every single time I got a verbatim, F's sake, can you not take an effing joke? I can't effing say anything. Like every single time. You'll notice I said X. Cook for yourself. Let him eat cereal until he can understand he was wrong and why. It may very well have been a joke, because I really can't see anyone being so far gone that they would think a PowerPoint would be the way to go here. But as soon as he realized you didn't actually find it funny, he should have backed down. Crap, sorry, I was trying to be funny but it didn't land. I'm so sorry. Dinner is actually really great and I appreciate you cooking all the time. I'd starve without you, type thing. And Reddit Lurker 1981 says, I'd make a presentation about how he can move the F out and cook alone in his new bachelor pad. Why are you tolerating this? Do you want your bar so low that occupants of hell trip on it? Couldn't have he used that time to learn how to boil water? The weaponized incompetence in this one is staggering. So the community thinks that OP is not the a-hole and that the boyfriend is absolutely in the wrong here and an idiot. So now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. Hey Reddit, so it's been a wild ride since I posted my original story about my now ex-boyfriend's infamous PowerPoint presentation critiquing my cooking. I can't thank you enough for all the support, laughs, and even the outrage on my behalf. Buckle up, because here's the follow-up you didn't know you needed. After reading your comments and taking some time to process what happened, I decided that our relationship needed a serious talk. I sat him down to discuss how his presentation came across as not just unfunny, but pretty disrespectful. You know, typical mature relationship stuff. Well, what does he do? He smirks and goes, "Oh, I was prepared for this." He actually grabs his laptop, connects it to the TV again, and presents me with another PowerPoint titled How to Take a Joke, a comprehensive guide. Yes, folks, he made a whole slideshow explaining why I needed to learn how to chill out and appreciate humor. Slide 1 featured a meme of a clown putting on makeup with my name plastered over it. Slide 2, a bullet point list titled Why Your Overreaction is Hilarious. Slide 3 was titled How I'm Clearly the Comedian in This Relationship. At this point, I was too stunned to speak, but then he pulled out slide 6. Things you can do while not cooking, because you're mad. The audacity, right? It was as if he really thought he'd win me over with this next level presentation. Spoiler alert, he did not. So I did what any rational PowerPoint loving person would do. I made my own. I stayed up all night crafting a presentation called Why It's Time to Move On, a farewell guide. It had everything. Flowcharts mapping his incompetence in the kitchen, pie charts illustrating my happiness before and after the great presentation debacle, and my personal favorite, slide 9, a gif of Gordon Ramsay yelling, "Get out!" This morning, I sat him down and went through my PowerPoint with the same energy he had given me. His reaction was priceless. He started with that same smirk, but lost it somewhere around slide 4. Top reasons you're moving out today. By the time I got to the resources for finding your own apartment slide, he was packing a bag. Now, before anyone worries, yes, he did actually leave, and no, I didn't even have to threaten him with slide 12, which was just a photo of me blocking the Wi-Fi router. So yeah, we broke up, and I'm single, happy, and cooking meals for myself without any critique except my cat's judgmental stare. And to those who said I should make a breakup PowerPoint, just know your wish has been fulfilled. I still can't believe how all of this went down over the course of a single weekend, but I now feel pretty good about myself. Thanks for all of your comments and support. P.S. Oh, and fun fact, some of you were right. He actually is a business consultant, so making PowerPoint presentations is quite literally his day job. I guess he took bringing work home to a whole new unwelcome level. Well, OP, you were just using the way he communicates with him, so I think it's all good. Thanks for sharing, OP. Take care. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.